Well, I'm taking a very hot and very fresh black blonde roast from Starbucks. Graceland Kroger, not Graceland Target. That's another Starbucks that Dawn and I always loved. Sometimes we'll get our coffee. We'll get our coffee at Target. We'll get our coffee at Kroger. You know, either way. I'm gonna make sure this camera's not gonna fall off of here. There we go. That seems tight enough on there. Okay, there we go. Well, this is an area that Dawn could never get to. Obviously, I can't imagine Dawn could have possibly. No, there's no. Dawn could have looked at that and she would have seen. She may wonder. I wonder if you would have tried this one, Dawn. I don't know. I'll just talk to you like, well, you're here with me, Dawn. You're always with me in spirit, so I have to kind of take you. Now that your spirit is with mine, I can take you back here. I still got my sunglasses. It's very dark back here. I don't know if this is coming out very well on the camera. I can't do. Yeah, I got a pour over from well, there wasn't a pour over. They actually made a fresh pot. It was one of the things I used to talk to Dawn. One of the things I used to talk about Dawn. I think I was starting to start stumbling because I knew what I was talking about now. Well, I'd like to think so. Maybe not. Maybe that's it. It's possible. But one of the last, almost had a moment whether or not I had a gap of faith. Something with Dawn and these pour-overs at Starbucks, particularly the one at. I generally only got at the one at Target or the one at Kroger. I never waited for pour-overs over at Starbucks or over at the one at in Target. Usually, it was usually just because we're going to sit down. Well, we usually went to the grocery shopping. We didn't sit down as long as the one at Target, usually. Toward the end, I was wanting because I get that blonde. I like the blonde roast better, and I like but they generally only had that pour over. I mean, they just brewed it up at spot. It took several minutes to do that, but that's the only way to get the blonde roast back in the that was the only way to get the blonde roast. Unless they have during the middle of the day, sometimes they'd have it brewed. So it was like with Dawn, it was like how John was like, why do you have to get a pour over? I have to get the only reason I got the pour over. She thought that it was taking more time. Like I especially wanted to get the pour over, and we were wasting time. So it was just taking too much time. So we're talking. She was just didn't know. I think. But she didn't understand why I had to get the pour over. It's just because that's the only way they made pour overs. It wasn't like I wanted the pour over, especially because I wanted that particular blend. I said at the beginning, she wanted, she knew. I got to worry about this. She knew. It's just, I don't think she knew exactly what I meant. Just why she thought she just thought. I'm not sure whether she knew, in fact, that I was choosing a pour-over when I didn't have to, or maybe why did I get the pour-over instead of the regular coffee, like for example the medium roast. Maybe she said, why do you have to get blonde instead of the medium roast? Because that one takes time, the other one didn't. But either way, I just said I wanted to get it. And that's what I wanted. We resolved. There was nothing unresolved. There was nothing unresolved. Well, the funny thing is I went to get a pour over tonight and he just brewed another pot of fresh anyway. And it's black and it's very hot. And it's very hot outside. And the sun is very hot. I'm going to walk a back way that another way. This is a way that Dawn couldn't go from home from Kroger. We could go back from we could go back from Fenway, I think, but I don't know if we can get back from Fenway the way in a direct way. I think we have to, but we could get there if like Westview, I think is the road. That's the way we could get back to. There was two. There was one car. One time we had we were walking down Westview, and they said there was a shadow. There was a guy stopped us, or just kind of driving down the street. Say he was warning us, like he couldn't see it. He could. He was like, I couldn't see the shadows in the sun, or the shadows from these trees on Westview. He was warning us, you better be careful because they can't see you. Like he would have run into Dawn, and like it's amazing how I don't have to worry about any of that now. I was always worried I'd drop her. I was always worried I'd drop Dawn. It's just I just thought anytime in my life I'd drop her, I'd kill her, and that would be the end of my life as well. I couldn't. She must have felt that every single day of her life. Every time I picked her up, I was scared. I don't want to drop her. I can't drop her. I can't drop her. I cannot drop her. That must have hurt her more than it hurt her. Broken bones hurt her. Oh, I don't even. This is the street we call well, this is Riverside. This is the one when she came back. This isn't the one, but it's like this is just we're only about 4 blocks east of High Street in Columbus, Ohio. The street where the only street that matters, North High Street. Or only 3 blocks west of it, like we're walking in a rural area almost. It blows my mind. That's how close we are to the lively and deadly North High Street in Columbus, Ohio. Is just 3 blocks away from here. And we look like we're walking in the middle of the woods. This is actually Sharon Township. This is unincorporated. And this is, you know, it just shows how strange things that politics can do sometimes. Because this is a political boundary. This is separate from Columbus. Although it's surrounded by Columbus, this is actually an unincorporated island that starts about from the parking lot of our building, which we live in Columbus. Even though, well, yeah, we do live in Columbus. It's just right next to where, just right across with where right from the end of our parking lot is where Sharon Township begins, and okay, there we go. Oh, this is an unincorporated area. We can go to we walked back here a few times, or once, or twice. I know we walked back here toward the last, I think it was the weekend before. I think it was like June 2nd. We walked back here, it was Memorial Day. I was worried, for some reason, there was some of the stuff I posted on, some of the posts I put on Facebook last year, and just some of the stuff I told about this abuse that sort of somehow took place in my family. I wonder whether it even happened now. I don't know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I thought that maybe somehow that my dad wasn't going to, that she didn't want him to be there or something like that, at her birthday party. And I don't know how that where that came from. I don't know why that brought that up. I just don't want me to bring that up. But I was just thinking about my dad. I think I was thinking about something about something about the Olentangy River, and I guess I lived with my dad at Olentangy Commons, perhaps, and it was Olentangy. I don't know. Thing is, Olentangy and Whetstone. He didn't go to Whetstone. He went to the older two, my dad and his sister Connie went to Linden McKinley because they were up Linden. But they started all growing up in Linden, but they moved in with my dad's mom's parents up here, you know, where they are now, Schreier, and they've been there. So Paula and Rusty, Jim, they went to a Whetstone, and but that's what Olentangy. In fact, I hear they said they called the Marion up in Marion, Ohio. They called the Olentangy River the Whetstone River. It's the same river. Oh, it's hot out here. Well, it's just like 3. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk down. I don't know if I need to walk down the alley. I think I should walk down the alley. Maybe that's what I need to do. Make sure my camera's still going. Okay. Yeah, I gotta check it every once in a while. Sometimes I'll have problems like that where, like earlier today, they said that my video stopped because of my camera stopped because it said my phone was too hot to actually run my camera. Let me believe that. So, but the video didn't get lost, and that's good. It didn't stop. I don't know how much of it got uploaded. You know, I'm not gonna worry about much. I mean, it's like I gotta. I guess I was doing it last year. I was doing it like a leap of faith. You see, last year I was doing some stuff. I think that's where I got that for last year. I was getting kind of crazy on Facebook. I was posting some stuff. I'd been taking Prozac, but I just said somehow that was just making me more arrogant. I didn't realize what I thought I knew and what I didn't know. There, I'll go in the alley. This will work. I didn't realize a lot of things last year. I could never trust anyone's compassion except Dawn's. The only first time because I know she was preparing me, not protecting me. Couldn't be protected from danger because I needed to face danger. I needed to face it. She wasn't protecting me. She was preparing me. I could trust compassion because she came to me. So all the other compassion is, I'd say, was just anything resembled compassion. Anything ultimately, as I've been indulging heavily in the YouTube library of Dr. Jordan Peterson, beginning to realize how irrelevant that politics really is, and that if I could look at politics, it's easy to see from now that the right wing is the concerns of the father and the left wing is the concerns of the mother, and it's just going to manifest itself based on how one views one's parents. And so the fact that I couldn't trust compassion it seemed to also make me very hostile it seemed to make me hostile to left-wing politics. I mean, there's afraid of it. And why are you doing this to me? I think the purpose of politics, the purpose of government was just get off my ass. That's all it was. And that's what it meant to me. And it just, I don't know if that's anything. I'm trying not to talk political because I get so tired of that, but I'm just realizing that's just another way of how it manifested itself. I tried to find friends who were politically opposed or politically distant from me, whose politics I feared. That's all I didn't want to say. I wanted to find those people and fear their politics. I wanted to find people whose politics I feared and see, how could you do this to me? or why are you doing this to me? You know, and this, when I was taking that Prozac last year, it just seemed I was trying to say, are you people going to see what's wrong with me? Do you see what's wrong with me? I think I was trying to talk to all of Facebook like they were a psychologist. And yeah, I think that's what I was doing. I was kind of pretty much talking to all of Facebook like they were a psychologist. And I think that's part of how Peterson came to me through Dawn. Make sure this camera's working again. Okay, we're good. Okay. Through Dawn, and I really believe Dawn brought Dr. Peterson to me and all this through prayer, and I think this whole thing was lining up, because I bet my mom and Dawn probably said plenty of times, he needs to talk to a psychologist, or he needs to listen to a psychologist, he needs a psychologist, he needs a psychologist. I mean, I mean, Peterson was right in line with that, you know, it just came right in a podcast, and even came down to the Canadian accent. And here's the song. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do it tonight. We never got to record this digitally. Dawn and I used to sing the song. We sang it in front of Dawn's. I think we sang it in front of Dawn's dad and Ray, her brother Ray. We sang it in front of my dad and my brother Aaron, and in front of my cousin Phil, and a couple other friends of ours. We got to sing it in front of the ladies too, and Dawn took us. We got Denise and Valerie. We got to sing in front of them too. But we did this song. This it was just a joke. I actually wrote this song myself because I was just trying to figure out a way to just put the fact that Canadians say sorry and about. And I wanted to just incorporate that into a song, so I decided here's the song this would be I proposed this as a Canadian accent. No, we sang this all the time. We never got to record it though. It was never meant to go on except me alone. I think I may have done it, I don't know, I may have recorded it without her. I'm not sure. I think I may have done it on Snapchat actually. As much use as I got out of that. But it's called, well, it would be titled, We're Not Sorry About the Fact That We're Canadian. But it will come out as, I'm actually going to have a car come through here of all the time. I'm actually going to have traffic through here. I'm sitting in the middle of an alley. Oh, I guess not. Okay. Maybe I should walk like I was going to do it. I was a song to be marched to anyway, but there's a basset hound up here. It looks like it's going to bark while I'm going. Well, that sounds like a good thing. The anti-Canadian basset hound. There's the anti-Canadian basset hound. I'm just a fake. That's okay. I'm just a fake Canadian anyway. I'm only going to be Canadian for the sake of this song. We're not sorry about the fact that we are Canadian. We're not sorry about that fact one bit at all. We're not sorry about the fact that we're Canadian. For our Canada is the greatest land of all. Well, that's the first recording, and I'm gonna post this video as soon as I get home. I mean, I'm kind of done with editing for content, at least with this preliminary stuff. I need to get myself. This is kind of like throwing things out on the table right now. I think I'm kind of gotta do something like this before I fall apart and start getting some output to see if anybody knows, or just. No. I don't think. I'm just sending this out there. But I'm just not gonna bother editing. I just gotta stop caring about worrying. Just let things. Being careful. I just gotta be a leap of faith. Let's make leaps of faith. Just throw things out there. I'll get what comes to me. I'll get what comes to me. And if I follow in good faith, I'll know it'll be good. Dawn will take me there. And I may have to come through Dawn. I have to come through Dawn, through the granddaughter, as they call it, the granddaughter of God. To get to live with her on earth. She couldn't have one herself. Dawn couldn't have a baby herself. She was too small. And she'd take any others. She'd take any other babies. but she couldn't have any of her own. I never really wanted one because I thought they didn't want, I thought that was my way of, I figured one way to endear myself to women, I thought would be to not want to have kids, because then I wouldn't have to deal with that. I thought it was just a hassle. And then she seemed like Dawn really wanted it. She couldn't. They need that kind of a difference in potential. I thought, like, I'm gonna find no kids, because it's my way of selling myself to a woman who doesn't, because I figured that was a burden to them. I mean, I always figured, that's the way I grew up. I thought it was a burden. That's why they didn't. That's why I just wouldn't have anything to. I couldn't think of anything else. I just didn't. But Dawn wanted to have, always wanted to, but couldn't. Yeah. So it's strange. We in a way we kind of differ politically on that issue too, about that related to having babies, and whether or not somebody could have them, or whether someone would want to have someone else's who wouldn't want to. If you didn't want yours, Dawn would have taken it off your hands. Let's put it that way. That's all. I don't want to get into anything like that on this. I just don't want to, because politics and stuff always gets me angry. And there's no reason to be angry. And it's just anger is just unresolved logic, and there's no logic to politics. I mean, it's just, well, there's no spirit in it. It's all logic. That's what it is. It's just logic that goes nowhere. Well, I'm almost. This isn't too far. Well, it's only one block. Okay, I walked down the alley quite a ways. This is This is Roslyn. Well, that was quite a walk. Quite a walk home. I got some good food in here. I'm gonna make this steak. I got a big steak in there that I'm gonna grill on my George Foreman grill. I'm gonna beat it really hard with my meat tenderizer on the ground with a cutting board, and just toss it on that grill, and just take the greens, and I'm gonna try to. I probably want to use a utensil, just tear it with my fingers. I'm gonna like that instead of just. I'll just take this. What I'll do is I'll take plastic wrapper or something like around this steak and beat the crap out of it with my meat tenderizer on the floor with the cutting board on the floor. Just pound on it. Then I'll toss it on the grill. When it gets to 160, when I measure it in the thermometer, it gets to 150 and inside. Then I take it off and start eating it. I usually start trying it with a knife, but usually it's easier to just tear it up with my fingers and wrap it up. Usually I'll get some kind of green, roll it up, and just kind of grind the meat and greens in together like that to get all the juices in there. And I usually use like walnut oil. Well, I use olive oil, but I've had walnut oil for a long time. I don't use very much of it when I do it, so it's lasting me for a long time. I got 2 bottles of, like, 17-ounce bottles of walnut oil at Target, marked down. I mean, Dawn got these with me. We went down to Target. This wasn't that last visit to Target. This was a different. Several weeks. That's just how long, because this was before Memorial Day. Well, she's. I'm gonna see here. Wow. It's such a hot day out here. It's amazingly hot, late August. But well, it's quite a walk. I don't know how long this video was, but this is me walking home from Graceland, walking home from Kroger, from the back way that Dawn couldn't go. Well, I'm going to stop this right now because I think this is all I need. Let's see.